Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David, and today I'm going to play a game called Cannibal Sweetheart. This game contains gore, abuse, and other triggering things, so if that sort of thing isn't your thing, then maybe this video will not be your thing today. In this game we are racked with a terrible heart disease, but oh, how fortunate that we meet a heart surgeon who really just wants to go on a date with us and has no nefarious plans beyond that. So let's just dive right in. Warning, this game contains topics and graphic depictions of gore, mutilation, religious trauma, mommy issues, stalking, vomiting, sexual themes, and abuse. Viewer discretion is advised. Cannibal Sweetheart is a visual project based on a fantasy premise. I, as the creator, do not condone the actions of Casanova Valentine in real life. Neither do I, Espoir David. This is a work of fiction that is intended to remain fictional. Now that you have been disclaimed, you may proceed. I am Espoir. It means hope in French. You have such a lovely name. The code will keep that in mind. Code? Thank you for your time, Espoir. What code? Who is Code? What? Be extremely cautious. He remembers your every decision. It would be best not to anger such an unstable individual. You never know what might happen to you. Oh dear. There was a time when I had hope in doctors. Ooh, pretty art style. When I first received my diagnosis, I was scared. Being sat down in a cold office and told my arteries were infected terrified me. That would terrify me. The specialists informed me that without any sort of medical interference, I wouldn't have much time to live. We talked about treatments for a short while. Considering how bad my condition had gotten, she heavily emphasized an option. She recommended a full heart transplant. It was obvious the one I had was collapsing with every passing second, what with my hands pressed against my chest for personal comfort. My waking moments were spent in dull misery. With a transplant, I could feel a consistent heartbeat the moment I awoke. I would be able to experience unrushed leisure. I could live my life the way I desired again. Her promises of removing my heartache intrigued me. I requested a spot in the waiting room, to which she named her requirements. A measly, very inexpensive $1.3 million. Flip. I should have gotten better insurance. I knew I couldn't afford it at the moment, even with my life savings and wills I've stacked up from other members of my family passing. I'd only scratch a couple $100,000 from the price. A moment of silence fell between us. She rubbed my knuckles as I processed the information. What was I to do? With an apologetic tone, she advised that I take up medications in the meantime to nullify the aching. I accepted her offer, for no other choice had been brought into the conversation. Well, goodness. It's either get good or die. Okay, guess I'll die. Thanks. This was my last year. My condition is still getting worse, but at least the medicines are delaying my inevitable end. Which reminds me, I need to visit the pharmacy later today for my medication refill. Cyanide called me about that last night. Cyanide? The poison's talking to you? I'm assuming it's a person. Beta blockers won't keep me alive for as long as I'd like, but maybe long enough to find other sources of money, as my friend called it, which has guided me down the anonymous path of black markets. Hey, does anybody have any hearts they don't need? Totally real Bitcoin. Aw. Elon Musk's bank. It's eye-opening to say the least. For each sick service provided, there are even more sick customers willing to throw thousands for that service. My cursor hovered over incomprehensible links on a document I had on the side, looking for any key terms my friend provided that might help. It's nice having connections. Most of these are just crypto miners. The heck am I supposed to do with those? My eyes continued scanning the highlighted texts. A lot of prostitution services, too. Could I make enough money sleeping with random degenerates? I could, but knowing the kind of crowd that lurked these forsaken sites, I would either be trafficked or murdered. I sighed, scrolling past the brothel sites. Do I even want to know what bug chasing is? Yes I do. I clicked on the link, viewing the tab that quickly popped up onto my screen. Oh. Maybe, if I wasn't edging death, I could make it far in this market. Sadly, heart disease isn't that contagious, nor is it the kind of disease people are looking for. I closed the page. It seemed as if I had gone through the provided links already, for the document wouldn't scroll any further. I assumed I would have to bother Parasite to look for more options. Oh, Cyanide and Parasite. They sound like wonderful friends. That was until a new cursor on the document caught my gaze. I just noticed the Hacker for Hire 707. My boy. That was until a new cursor on the document caught my gaze. I leaned forward to follow it closely, my interest being piqued. It moved around in erratic circles before creating a new empty space. You should try this one. I heard the prices were pretty good if you need to buy from a cheap source. Within a second, a new link was pasted onto the page. A newfound hope sparked within me. I guess somehow my colleague figured I went through all the sites already. Though a strange feeling in my gut emerged, that spark of hope drowned within sudden dread. I thought for a moment. The timing seemed awfully convenient, and my friend's not usually up at 4 a.m. Aren't they? Wouldn't they be? Wait, is this some sort of trickery? Is someone doing me a trickery? I hovered my cursor over the pasted text, almost as if I were hesitating. There wasn't anything indicating what the site may be. Unease enveloped my senses. It's not like I have much of a choice, though. Beggars can't be skeptics. Oh dear. Valentine's Anatomy Distribution. Skeletals, for when you need an entire skeleton. When I left-clicked, the site loaded almost immediately. Shades of red and black replaced the white that once accompanied my monitor. Plasters of text decorated the left side while directories were listed on the right. I scrolled down a little bit to see more photographs of cut-open carcasses present in the gallery. Cavities were held open by clasps of metal. Fond memories of my high school physiology class came to mind. Aesthetically, it wasn't too bad. I read the title text aloud to myself. Valentine's Anatomy Distribution. Whether you're in dire need of a replacement body part or are looking for something to spice up your dinner parties, what? Valentine's Anatomy Distribution has a wide selection of organs, bones, and even whole cadavers for you to choose from. Oh, isn't that convenient? If you need any assistance, contact our lead harvester. Thanks for supporting your local family business. Ha! Organ trafficking doesn't usually come to mind when people think of family businesses, but whatever pays the bills, I guess. I glanced at the directories on the side. Body parts were separated into categories, making it a lot easier to navigate. Ooh. It seemed like categories were determined by systems of the body: cardiovascular, muscular, skeletal, and for some reason, reproductive, to name a few. Sick freaks. I navigated myself to the cardiovascular category. I am very impressed on how easily I can pronounce cardiovascular. Blood cartons, no. Arteries, no. Lungs, I'm breathing fine right now. Here we go. I scrolled through the selection of hearts available for purchase. A lot of them came from younger donors. That's never a good sign, if we can even call them that. Photos of said doctors were also provided. I had no idea why they were necessary, though. All I needed were the prices. I couldn't help but pay some attention to the photos, though. They were taken like mugshots, but not a single pair of eyes had any sort of life within them. Their cold stares sent a shiver down my spine. It didn't help my case that a majority of them looked like those I knew in the past. I swallowed uncomfortably. I am so glad that is not on the screen right now. Hoo-hoo! My phone started erratically vibrating. I glanced at the screen to check the contact. Caller unknown. Oh, geez! I stared at the dim light, mentally calculating who this might be. Maybe my colleague had to get a new burner phone. It wasn't rare of it to lose one every 3 weeks. Oh, goodness. It seemed awfully suspect, though. The timing, the phone call, the lack of information. I wasn't even sure that this was my colleague anymore. It usually preferred text over calls anyway. My hand lingered an inch above my phone, trying to decide if I should pick it up. Answer or don't answer? Let's answer. Let's see what's... I answered the call, holding my phone against the side of my head. Who's this? Whoa, Corazon. What happened to hello? How are you? Always gotta be suspicious, huh? A smooth, accented voice emitted from the speaker. I rolled my eyes at the response it gave me. What a charmer. I have every right to be suspect, don't I? Yeah, but you don't need to be so rude. I could practically hear the pout in his voice. It's not that I was trying to come off as ill-mannered, but it's not like I enjoy calls from strangers. And you don't need to be so dismissive of my question, but you seem awfully avoidant on telling me who you are. I heard him laugh a little bit beneath his breath, which probably stank, not gonna lie. Because it's fun hearing you like this, all confused and annoyed. God, it's attractive. Oh no. I'm starting to think this guy's getting off on this. Nonetheless, I played along. Maybe I'd be a little less annoyed if you at least gave me a hint of who you really are. I want to know who I'm talking to. Man, I thought you would have gotten the idea by now, mi amor. But I guess since your brain is as dysfunctional as your heart, I'll be nice and give you a clue. I have never wanted to sock someone in the jaw as much as I do right now. Wait, did he? I'm your friendly little organ harvester. Harvester? Oh, this guy must be from the distribution. Wait, did my VPN expire? Was I no longer anonymous? How the heck did you get my number? I have my ways. So, a heart, huh? I bet those arteries are practically suffocating, what with the amount of plaque infested in them, huh? Poor thing. It didn't take me longer than a second to process his words. My stomach dropped at his questions, my dread only growing worse. See, I've taken quite a liking to you, so I wanted to offer my help. I even guided you to my little shop. You'd be stupid not to accept my help. You can't be flippin' serious. Oh, but I am. I know all about your little condition, mi vida. Fatty vessels and breathless misery. Coronary artery disease be darned. Reluctantly, I chuckled in agreement with his statement. While it was strange that he knew more than he should about me, his equable demeanor balanced his uncanniness. I guess since I have the friendly organ harvester on the line, I might as well ask for his assistance. So, how much would a basic, functioning heart cost me? You know, you have the site open, right? You can just check there. I heard him snicker to himself. Well, it was more like a gremlin giggle. So it's like... Every vowel was enunciated by his dorkish tone before he ended his little giggle episode with a deep breath. Cute. Nah, I actually got a deal for you. Something I've never offered to any other customer. Don't you feel so special, sweetheart? Don't patronize me, organ freak. What's your offer? I'll hook you up with a fresh and healthy heart along with a surgeon who won't ask questions about your procedure if you let me take you out on a date. His proclamation caught me off guard. If I knew I could date my way into a surgery, I would have just joined one of those brothels I had on hand. Despite all common sense screaming at me, I egged him on with intrigue. What kind of date? Like going out for dinner? Only if you're the main course. What do you mean by that? I couldn't help but laugh at his stupid joke, though, thinking back on what this guy does for a living, he may not be kidding. Ooh. You know that cemetery a couple blocks away from the pharmacy? The one with the creepy angel statues and intricate gravestones? La Ville Cemetery? Las Villes? 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 Las Villes Cemetery? Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. It's a very pretty word. Yeah, that one. I was thinking we grab some snacks, walk around for a bit, see how the people of Las Villes met their dooms. A basic get-to-know-you date. If we have a nice time, I'll get you that surgery. What do you say, mi vida? Sure. Why not? What have I got to lose? I just noticed the computer screen is pixelated because there's probably all manner of horribleness on there. All right, you got yourself a date. Dead apple? For real real? For real real. I could hear excited yells of Spanish erupt from the other line. An unconscious smile took advantage over my lips as I listened to him hype himself up. Aw, adorable. Though his cheers were short-lived, once he remembered I was still on the call, he cleared his throat and apologized. So, meet you at the pharmacy at 6 tonight? A late-night date, huh? Well, sure, but I don't even know what you look like, or even your name. How should I know you're not just going to ditch? I highly doubt he's going to ditch anyone. I'm not that kind of guy, corazon. Promise. Look for a dude with white wavy hair and a red sweater. White hair and a red sweater? Oh no, that's meeting a couple of my standards. Oh God, did I agree to a date with an old man? At this point, I don't think you have much of a choice. Hey, shut it, heart disease. I'll see you then. Wait! Before I could ask for his name, he left the call, leaving me in silence. I sighed, setting my phone back onto the desk. I closed the tabs on my computer and tossed myself onto my bed. I decided to catch a quick nap so I didn't look like death by the time I met this nameless stranger. My body melted into the covers, as did my distraughtness into nothing. A yawn erupted from my lips. My eyelids inclined, forcing my eyes shut as fatigue controlled my sickly form. I could only hope my desperations didn't lead to my demise. Ending. You agreed to a date with a stranger. Is that them? Is that the person? Cool. Well, obviously, we need to do things a little bit differently. Alright, what if we don't answer? I declined the call. Probably just some flipping scam. My gaze went back to my monitor, attempting to avert my attention back to the task at hand. When the buzzing started again, as I did before, I rejected the caller on the other line, but it kept calling. No matter how many times I declined, it just kept ringing. It seemed that whoever was on the other line was desperate to reach me. Or maybe they were desperate to reach someone else and got the numbers confused. I found myself hoping it was the latter. Encounters from strangers discomfort me. Even after the 7th rejection, my phone continued vibrating against the metal desk. Resisting the urge to chuck it at my bedroom wall, I answered. What? Took you long enough to answer, mi vida. I was starting to get impatient. Mi vida? Was he trying to call a lover? Or maybe a girl at a bar gave him some arbitrary digits so he'd leave her alone and I was unlucky enough to be dialed? You totally could have just taken the hint that you got the wrong number. I don't even know who you are. What? I'm almost hurt. Of course you know me. Do I? I'm your friendly little organ harvester. Cute. Harvester? Oh, this guy must be from the distribution. Alright, what if we say no to the date? No, that sounds like something I should not be doing. Yeah, I'm not convinced. You're not taking me out. What? I said I don't want to go out with you. I don't know who the heck you are, or how you know me, and I'm not willing to risk my life for some stupid date. I'll just find some other source for a surgery. Please, don't flip and contact me again. I got no response from the other line, taking this as a sign he wasn't going to answer any further. I hung up. That guy wasn't normal. Nothing about that entire interaction was normal. I set my phone down on the desk, letting a heavy sigh escape my lips. Discomfort edged its way throughout my body. Did Parasite link my number to my VPN somehow? Was that even possible? How did he know so much about my condition? Was I being stalked? Most likely. Questions overwhelmed me, my mind desperately trying to come up with possibilities that wouldn't lead me to another spiral. Yet, I had nothing. Minutes of still silence brought me no answer. That was until I heard glass shatter onto the ground behind me. Holy cow! I quickly turned around, my ill heart banging against the confines of my ribs. The glass trickled down from the windowsills, forming piles of physical hazards on my bedroom floor. The darkness outside didn't assist my vision, for I didn't see anything or anyone that caused my window to shatter. My breath shook from my lungs. I didn't know if I wanted the culprit to disclose itself or to stay hidden. One hand reached behind me, scurrying across the desk for anything that could be used as a weapon. "Use your Miku toy! Use your little figure!" My digits wrapped around the first sharp object I could find and faced it in front of my trembling form. I got out of my chair and backed away from the window. My heart started racing faster, causing my chest to burn in an indescribably painful manner. My stomach churned violently. I felt as if I was going to vomit. Silence. I should be hiding. I should be calling the police. I should be getting as far away from this threat as possible. Yet I found myself unable to move from my position. I swallowed. A couple more shards fell onto the ground to join the rest of the broken glass scattered below. Out of nowhere, droplets of liquid followed suit, gliding down remaining glass before ultimately falling down. What the fluff? More droplets came before they formed a thin stream of red. I glanced over to the source of the crimson waterfall, my breath getting caught in my throat when I saw injured fingers gripping the windowsill. Oh, there was someone breaking into my house. I kept myself armed and watched as the figure made its way from the darkness and into my room. The lighting from my monitor gave me some insight of what the stranger looked like. Holy cow! What's that you got there, friend? It was thin, dangerously thin, with hair that looked as if it hadn't been taken care of in ages. One scrawny body part in after another before its full form stood atop the broken glass. Be careful! Nice hips, though. I couldn't make out its face, not much of it anyway. All I could really see were dull, heterochromic eyes staring at me. They didn't blink. They didn't move. It didn't move. We stood in silence, staring at each other. My weapon remained in front of my chest in case it charged at me. It seemed at a neutral state at the moment, though. Without thinking, I spoke. "Who the heck are you? Why are you in my house? What do you want from me? And what in the world is that thing you got there?" It didn't speak, but instead raised an arm and pointed at me. I grew more discomforted at the stranger's silence. Not just discomforted, but annoyed as well. "Use your flippin' words. Don't just break into my house and stare at me, a-hole. Speak up or get out." I yelled in an attempt to scare it off. Maybe get it to talk to me. I at least want to know who this stranger is before it inevitably hurts or even kills me. This is stupid. Why am I doing this? Why is he just standing there? Is he going to do anything? Do I want him to do anything? The pain in my chest is getting worse. "I just wanted to see you, mi vida." A familiar, masculine voice, laced with emotional hurt and a Spanish accent. And that awful nickname. Wait. No. How the flip does he know where I live? Why is he in my room? Something audibly brushed against the glass, catching my attention. A metal plank rimmed with spikes cascading into a bulky handle that the harvester held with one hand. Yeah, I noticed that right off the bat. A chainsaw. Realizing he was armed with such a dangerous tool caused me more panic. His gaze was still fixated on me. My eyes stayed on the chainsaw, refusing to meet his stare. Are you here to kill me? Is that what you want?" I stuttered. I couldn't contain my overwhelming terror anymore. My voice shook as I called out to him. He fell silent again. "Answer me, you freak! You adorable freak!" The stranger revved his chainsaw and slashed my stomach, forcing me to drop my weapon and my body to the ground with an agonizing screech. "Ow! Rude!" I didn't have time to react to the viscous material gushing out of my wound. He straddled my lap, keeping me pinned down. Each leg was thrown on either side of my body, his weight just below the draining injury. I heard him plant his tool above my head. I couldn't do anything to stop him. The blades of his saw scraped the top of my scalp, making me hiss in pain. I kept my eyes screwed shut, wanting nothing more than for him to leave my sight. "Come on, mi amor. Look at me. I just want to look into your eyes one last time. I wasn't going to give in to his desires, especially not before he was going to slaughter me. I kept my eyes closed. I heard him sigh in disappointment. I love you. I love you so much. My heart can't handle how much I love you. Please forgive me, corazon. He professed his adoration for me with a quivering voice, cold drops of liquid falling onto my face. Was he crying? He gave me chaste kisses, his lips warm and soft against my skin. He placed one final kiss on my lips. Strands of his unkempt hair brushed against my face as he retreated. Now I can really have you to myself. I could barely make out the quiet sobs beneath the saw revving into my skull. I screamed. I screamed until my vocal cords fried within my throat. I screamed until I couldn't hear myself scream anymore. I screamed until my last sense abandoned my body. I could feel my organs splitting in half. I could feel myself splitting in half. I could feel nothing but excruciating pain until the darkness took me as its own. No, until the stranger took me as his own. Ending. The stranger stole your heart. Hey. Well, it's broken, so you can have it. Alright, say we answer the phone. Yeah, say we answer the phone. But then, we say no to the date. Yeah, you get the same ending. Well, that was Cannibal Sweetheart demo. This is just a demo. More will be added later, but a little bit of taste of what this game might be. I assume it will be very gory, it will be very disturbing, but also beautiful. In a sick, twisted way. But it will be interesting to see. It will be very, very interesting. Kind of like that. I kind of like the, I like the art style. I really like the art style. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have a great night. Take care of yourself. And remember, there is always hope.